It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're up dead early. It is another fantastic Friday and you're up with us. My name is Mark Daniels.
And I'm Davriel Gardner, wishing a happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday, everybody. We made it. These Fridays are coming around quickly. I couldn't remember if this was a short week or not. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, I feel like that's a good thing. I think that's because you were zipping all over the country in style. I think time flies.
Time does
Get
fly.
it? When
Time
you're
fly when
flying around.
having fun working to build this country and make it a better place for us all. But yes, if you got the time, hop on a boat, hop on a plane, go see your islands, get on the water. This is a nice weekend coming up. You got to get off of Nassau, get some of that island air, out island air in your lungs, and just remind yourself that, you know, we're a mix. All our islands has its own culture and has its own unique spin to it. So go out there and enjoy your islands. That was your week.
Absolutely. Actually, to that end,
Go for it.
funny enough, I just came back from travel, but of course, I started planning my next trip. And I researched, you know, what are some of the most underrated travel destinations in the world. And they said the Out Islands in the Bahamas was number 3 on the list of 10. But yeah, so I had a great week.
Yeah.
Happy to be back. Happy to be back in the flow.
Yeah, some people will say, don't give away the secret, the best kept secrets in the Bahamas, right? But thanks for joining us. I want to make a quick announcement. The Meteorological Office and the National Hurricane Center wants to advise the public that there's going to be a showing of the hurricane plane. Now, Godfrey can tell you what the official scientific term for it is. But it's the hurricane tracker plane that goes up in the sky, tracks the hurricanes, sends us those radar images, let us know where it's going to go, and it's going to be on display on Tuesday, and I can't remember where it's going to be. Godfrey's going to have to remind you, but you can call into the office. It's by appointment only. Call them at office at 702-5250 or 424-0657. Arrange for your class, your church group, your friends. Go by and see the hurricane plane. I going by. I never see one of them.
That's pretty exciting.
The hurricane plane on Tuesday, everybody. Godfrey can tell you more about it. And we've got a great show coming up with you today. We're going to be hearing all about Team Impact Week. Also, Team Bahamas is here to talk about their second place win at the 51st Carifta Games. And URCA is here to discuss the role in regulating the electronic communication sector.
The owners of the first fully Bahamian bookstore are here to talk with us. The UB students who competed in the Hackathon 2024 are also here to tell us about that competition. And we'll be discussing autism with speech-language pathologist K. Shanique Hudson. But first, let's check on weather with Godfrey Burnside.
This is Weather at Sunrise.
Thank you, Davriel, and good morning, Bahamas. Yeah, first look at weather at sunrise. First, I'd like to wish my sister happy birthday, Patrice Wallace, and then the Department of Meteorology and the National Hurricane Center. They're actually sponsoring the new Hurricane Reconnaissance aircraft that will be on Tuesday, and by appointment only for visits by anybody, so we can slot times out for everybody, so we have everybody crowding the aircraft at one time and not saying exactly what is going on. It's a time for students, particularly those in meteorology, science, and aviation. In your weather today, we have a cold front just over Grand Bahama and Abaco, moving towards the southeast and move across New Province, Eleuthera, and Andros sometime by late morning, early afternoon hours into Exumas by nighttime. A band of clouds accompanying that system passing through the islands with a couple of showers. No rain out. We have a couple of showers moving with that system. High pressure will be behind that system. Winds will pick up again on Sunday into Monday across the islands. But today, we're looking at variable cloudiness and warm. You can expect a few showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm over the northwest Bahamas along that frontal boundary. Partly sunny start, but increasing cloudiness and showers by afternoon across the central Bahamas. High temperature today reaching 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, few patchy clouds around the cool side of northwest Bahamas. Variable cloudiness with a few showers in the central and southeastern islands. Low going down to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean. Barbados 89.78. In Jamaica 89.78. Trinidad 92 and 77. And the Turks and Caicos Islands 84 and 70. Across North America, Atlanta 61 and 40. In Boston 63 and 48. In Miami 79 and 68. Dallas, Texas 80 and 57. And Toronto, Canada 51 and 42. As that frontal boundary moves into the central southeastern islands, clearing over the northwest Bahamas. So over the weekend, we're looking at a pretty good weekend still weather-wise. Lots of sunshine, some warm temperatures daytime, mild at nighttime. It's going to be on the dry side. We expect those winds to start picking up again Sunday into Monday. Low temperature daytime will be in the lower 80s at daytime, at nighttime in the upper 60s. That puts a wrap on your first look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Davriel.
Thanks, Godfrey. Through the Pages, located in downtown Nassau, is the first bookshop exclusively featuring books written by Bahamian authors. Here to tell us more about this are co-owners Elle, Clarke, and Beverley Turnquest. Good morning, ladies, and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Yes, so talk about what inspired you to open Through the Pages.
Well, I think both Bev and I share a similar story as it relates to our love for writing and reading. And I remember being in the 5th grade saying that I'm going to write a book that is going to change the lives of so many people. I didn't quite understand then what I was asking for, but it was that seed that created the idea that you see today. Just about 2 years or a year and a half ago, both Bev and I had partnered, and we were doing a lot of pop-up shops. We were doing really well selling our books. But we started to think about, there were persons that were asking us, where can we find you guys? We were able to direct them to Amazon, but they wanted a place right here at home where they can always come and patronize us. And so we were thinking about probably like mobile vehicles and a lot of different ideas. So when the opportunity to be a part of the Tourism Incubator Center was presented, we hopped right on that. And we are blessed by God to have been chosen as one of those persons to be in that center, and that's how Through the Pages was actually formed. Our love for reading and writing. I remember when I was in the primary school, I remember there was a Let's Read Bahamas campaign, and it was through that campaign that my love for reading and writing began.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Let's Read Bahamas. That
yeah.
still works its way into conversation
Yes.
these days. There are a lot of local bookstores, but not one that is exclusively Bahamian. What prompted you to focus on Bahamian authors only?
Well, like Elle said, during our pop-up markets, we saw something that was needed. We had persons simply come up and they were blown away. It indicated that we succeeded, that if we put our books on the shelf in Barnes & Noble, you would not tell the difference, that this was printed by the small guys. And again, they were asking, where could they find us? I have some of my books in local bookstores, and I'll be honest, I couldn't find it when I went in the bookstore. We were not getting self-esteem. So it was difficult to do my sub-promos and marketing to push and drive a customer to go and navigate through the big publishing houses that have and we know business is business. But I went into the bookstore, I said, oh, first book, very excited. This book has 150 5-star reviews on Amazon, and it's a Bahamian story. It's written for Bahamians. How do I get this into the hands of the Bahamians? And you put it in the bookstore. We're still trying to navigate our way in terms of getting full support from the Ministry of Education to have these books in school. These books weren't written for the international market. This is written from a Bahamian perspective, and I think it's very important that, and it's still coned, that representation matter. It's good for the id. It's how we anchor ourselves in preserving our identity. I've read a book by Portia Sands, and I was just tickled to read something that I could relate to, something that was relevant. But from the pop-up markets, we had this nudge, Elle said, oh, I want a bookstore. And I said, well, I want to do a storytelling tour for tourists. And we were back and forth. So, maybe we can combine the two. And we know it's a niche market. And some people see that as a weakness. We see that as a strength. Yeah. We've pulled ourselves away from the competition along with the other authors. We evidently can't write every book, every genre. And it's just been everything falling into place based on what we thought it was a hobby and something that we thoroughly enjoyed, and we were out there before all of this trying to collect authors for some reason. We don't know if it was God. They were like, are you an author? We're going to create a Facebook page so people can find us. And we've been doing this, and it's almost like if you look at our backstory, and as readers and writers, you look at the backstory, this all made sense to get us here. So everything, some of this I say was God, a lot of it, because so many things fell in place and we were doing stuff. I will tell you a joke from home. I've written 50 and we published between 50 and books, and my husband is like, basically, when are you going to stop? And he's so happy because he was like, you need a bookstore. And here we are.
Yes, you've come full circle. Now, if somebody comes into Through the Pages, what can they anticipate finding in terms of genres, types of books?
Well, they can find children's books. We have fantasy, a lot of empowerment books, a few biographies. We have some coloring books as well. The variety is growing, and we are so happy that a lot of Bahamians are buying into our vision and into the idea. We have books that came from, I think, Freeport, Abaco, and Cat Island. They've already sent in books, and so we're building up our category. It's not as vast at this point, but it's going to get there. So right now you can find children's books, empowerment books, you can find coloring books, and fantasy and romance as well. Yeah.
Talk to us about the grand opening that you have, or having.
Wow, the grand opening is going to be on Sunday the 14th. That's this Sunday. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We do anticipate a crowd, but because it's on a Sunday, we know that there are some persons that are going to come either before church or after church, and so we are inviting everybody to come in. You will also have a chance to meet some of the authors, and that is one of the most unique things about our bookstore, is that you won't be able to go on Barnes & Noble and just happen to meet an author there, but with Through the Pages, you will be able to meet the authors, get to greet them, and find out a little bit more about their inspiration and what led them to get to this point. And so you're going to be able to meet some of the authors that are already in the bookstore and get a chance to understand exactly who we are, because we're more than just a bookstore. We're not just selling books. We're going to be teaching people how to write their own books as well. We want to take this into schools because we want to use this as a way to deal with conflict resolution. When I was growing up, when I was upset, I would just journal down all of my feelings, and by the time I was finished writing, I was no longer upset. So could you imagine, instead of hitting somebody, you decide to make that person a villain in your story. By the time you finish writing that story, you're not going to be upset. Yeah. You're probably going to read that over and realize there may have been some things that you did wrong, and now you also have a product that you can package and sell. And so this is one of the things that we want to do with Through the Pages as well. We're going to be teaching people how to write their own books. We're going to use this as a conflict resolution tactic as well, and we also want Bahamians to know that there is so much more that you can do. It's just not just writing a book. Your book can become a screenplay, which can become a movie. And so these are the things that we want to do. We want to have conferences. We want to use Bahamian screenplay writers as well as international screenplay writers to show us how can we do this with streaming platforms now. I guess the potential is endless, and we as Bahamians can become a part of that as well.
I love it. I am so pleased to see the work that you're doing at Through the Pages. We are out of time. Just tell us where you're located downtown.
We're located 384 Bay Street, and this is in the Kelly's building. The East and Bay Street intersection, it's 5 buildings east of that light intersection.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And congratulations on this monumental feat.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And thank you for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Meet Leno, your bridge to the future. Wealth planning, investments, corporate services, trust services, pension administration, fund administration, outsourced accounting, and payroll. When you think of financial solutions, think of Leno. Local or international, company or individual, Leno can help. Our team of skilled professionals has the experience and expertise needed for you to strive. Your goals are our goals and our priority. Leno will guide you to the right financial solution with the knowledge, resources, and support you need. Give us a call at 242-396-3225 or email us at info@lenobahamas.com to get started. Visit our website, www.lenobahamas.com, for more information today. Leno, your bridge to the future.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Focall Holdings Limited is proud of its consistent growth and the financial success it continues to bring to many Bahamians who invest in the company. Focall is committed to ensuring optimal financial performance for its shareholders. Focall's leadership remains focused on superior customer service and operational excellence across all sectors. Focall, fueling growth for people. Secure your spot at the new Eleuthera and Harbor Island Business Outlet, April 18th at the Eleuthera Business Hub in Rock Sound, with keynote speaker, the Honorable Clay Sweeting. And April 19th at Valentine's Resort and Marina, Harbor Island, with MP Sylvanus Petty giving the update on North Eleuthera and Harbor Island, and Deputy Prime Minister I. Chester Cooper delivering the keynote address. Visit tclevents.com today for registration options.
Welcome back. Team Impact Week, the first international learning experience fully dedicated to trust and interconnectivity, is scheduled to take place April 23rd through the 27th. With me now to tell us all about this is Yvette Bethel. She is the CEO of Organizational Soul. Good morning and welcome back to Mamas at Sunrise. I love it.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, I love the name and the energy when you bounce in the room. I want to hear all about it. So the name of your business is Organizational Soul, and you've been in business for 18 years. So
that's right.
What caused you to decide to focus your research on trust in the workplace, and why are we here now?
You know what? Trust is one of the things that's so complex that nobody touches it. And so everyone has toolkits for engagement and different things within the organization, but they don't have a toolkit for trust. And trust is at the heart of all of that. And so what we've done, I actually created a network of people internationally. And they're coming in for the event, and some of them, and we're going to talk about trust, and we're going to give people tools that they can use to build trust within the organizations, families, nonprofits, wherever.
So tell us, how did you dig into this research topic of trust being an issue, and what's some of the data points that are out there that points towards this?
Well, I did more qualitative research, and what I found was that there were a lot of people that were disengaged in organizations. There's a lot of power abuse, favoritism, things like that. And when we dug deeper and went into why this was happening, a lot of the times there were some issues around, well, every time, because once it's a people issue, there's a trust component. Either there's trust or distrust. And so when we dug into it and we realized, well, we need to solve this first before we can solve everything else, we got into it.
And so you've been in this space now for a while. How has the workplace changed over the years, and how should we be adapting around this idea of trust and interconnectivity?
I think the biggest change happened at the time of the pandemic, when everybody started to have to figure out how we're going to make this work. And, you know, I found that a lot of times
the change actually brought out all of the strengths and weaknesses of the organization.
Right.
It really amplified them.
Right.
And so that was when I started working on trust, because it became more and more apparent.
Right.
So there's been trust. There have been trust issues all along, but certainly the pandemic helped to bring them out into the.
And even in the changing workplace, you find some companies are moving to remote work. Persons can work from a distance. They can be in another country, and that in itself has a trust element to it, to be able to trust the employees to fulfill their mandate, and then also for the employees to trust the company that they're looking out for their best interests, especially in these economic times, right?
That's right, and that's why we decided to have this Team Impact Week, because we know that trust is at the heart of everything, and it's at the heart of bringing out the best in an organization. You can have high performance and people are upset all the time, or you can have high performance and people are loving where they are.
Yeah.
They're doing more, and you don't have to pay them for the extra.
Yeah.
So we broke the Team Impact Week into 3 parts.
Right. Tell us about it.
We have the first part is the Trusted Leader Business Class, and that's for a day and a half. And this is where we're going to equip people with the tools, the trust tools, any leaders, whether you're in a business or wherever you are. Right. You're welcome to join us. And then the second part is something that we're very excited about, because we aim to be in 4 domains: organizations, academia, communities, and families. So the next part is for academia, where we're inviting teachers and principals and guidance counselors to join us, because we found that trust is an emotion, and within social and emotional learning, people need to understand that when the students and the teachers are practicing emotional intelligence in the classroom, students perform better.
Yes.
The grades are higher. And so we want to bring trust into the classroom and trust to educators, because the whole ecosystem needs to trust each other. It's not just its students.
Right. It's an exchange, right? And it's a living thing. Tell us about the third segment, and then tell us how we can register and be a part of this wonderful
The
event.
third segment is called the We Experience, because you go into organizations and it's us and them. They don't really talk about we.
Right.
And so what we have created is a new model that we're introducing called the We Anatomy, the anatomy of we, sorry.
Yeah.
And what that's going to do is help to bring people closer together, even if they don't get along. There are ways to do it.
Right.
And everybody doesn't have to sing Kumbaya around the fire. Right. But certainly we have ways to help people to work together, even if they're not happy with each other.
Well, it definitely sounds like something that's much needed. Tell us how we can register. We need to know.
Registration is at www.team-impact-week.com. You can register there as an individual. You can register for online learning if you just want to do it online and you don't want to come out. It's going to be at the British Colonial.
All right.
And
what are the dates?
The dates are April 23rd and 24th for the Trusted Leader, April 24th for the Trust for Educators, and April 24th through the 27th for the We Experience.
We are ready for Team Impact Week. Organizational soul is in the house. I'm feeling inspired. Trust and interconnectivity is what it's all about. Creating a team atmosphere, a family dynamic. People love to come to a place where they feel valued and they love the people they work with.
And
so
educators.
Don't
leave them out.
So we appreciate you being here this morning, and we look forward to a successful Impact Week. Make sure that all of our viewers are there and in droves to learn about interconnectivity and trust issues. So thanks again for being with us, Yvette.
It's
Looking
such a
forward to seeing you
pleasure.
again. Thanks again.
Thank
You're
you.
watching Mamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Since 1974, the National Insurance Board has been an income replacement safety net.
But to ensure our future remains secure, starting July 1st, 2024, contribution rates will increase and will continue to be shared by employers and employees.
We will be sharing more information in the upcoming months, but for now, get more details on nibrateincrease.com.
Invest in tomorrow today with NIB.
Because together, we can ensure our financial future.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Alive Business SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Alive Business at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
The Euro device is very affordable. It allows you to increase your internet connectivity. You are able to do away with the buffering, say goodbye to the dead spots. It gives them a much more stable connection. Their customers are able to view their digital menus. The establishment is able to stream. It allows for everyone, the customers and the business operators, to have a much more robust and stable internet connectivity.
Welcome back. The University of the Bahamas and the Central Bank of the Bahamas jointly sent 4 students to participate in the Live AI Hackathon 2024, held on March 24th and 25th. Joining us now are Matthew Williams, CIS major at the University of the Bahamas, Jessica Symonette, CIS major at the University of the Bahamas, Makari Smith, finance major at the University of the Bahamas, and Tawanna Livingstone, economics major at the University of the Bahamas. We also have joining us Shaker Eid, HOD of the CIS department at the University of the Bahamas, as well as Daniel Thompson, chairperson of the School of Business at UB. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. Good morning. We have a full group here. This morning we're talking about something so incredible. So I'm going to jump in and just start with you students. What inspired you to participate in the AI Hackathon 2024 at Harvard University?
So I guess I'll start first. Once again, my name is Matthew Williams. What I would say inspired me is the university, and most of all my friends and my colleagues. At first I was scared to do the hackathon because I am a senior, so I'm trying to finish my last minute projects and final exams. So I was encouraged by my colleagues, and especially my teammates, to push forward and go to the competition.
I was inspired because I really saw it as an opportunity for growth and development. I felt that it would be something that would help me to advance in not only my learning, but also in my career. And so I wanted to use the opportunity to try and make the most of it.
For me, I would say that it was definitely a growth opportunity, like Jessica said. I was kind of surprised that I was picked because I was like, I'm a finance major, this is a hackathon, I don't know anything about this. But in the end, I ended up being able to contribute a lot, and so it was definitely a great exposure and growth opportunity.
And agreeing with everyone here, but when you hear Harvard, I mean, I have to go. I have to go. But I see it as a great networking experience. It was lovely to meet all of the great people there, and there's also growth and knowledge.
All right, and I will go on the way down to Mr. Eve as well as Mr. Thompson. What did it mean to you to have Bahamian students participating in such a prestigious competition?
From my perspective, I believe in the students, and that's the most important factor that any teacher probably should know. And as the script says, from their fruits you shall know them. That will put us on the international map as a young university, and we are extremely proud.
Well, from the School of Business perspective, when we were approached by the central bank to select or identify students, it was a great opportunity to liaise with our network and our stakeholders. And critically is that the School of Business, being the premier school within the university and one of the largest schools, it was a great opportunity for internationalization of what we do, of our product, and a demonstration of effective learning outcome at the academy, and a demonstration of not just our students, but what our faculty have been bringing to the table.
So I am curious, and I'm sure folks at home are curious, about what happens at a hackathon. So students, can you tell me a little bit about your project?
Okay, so at the hackathon, we decided to do a fintech app, and it substitutes like as a global Google Pay or Apple Pay for the Bahamas, and I'll let the others talk.
So basically at the hackathon, you had to design, develop, and demo an app within 24 hours. Wow. So the ceremony would have begun at 10 a.m. So we were on Harvard campus for 10 a.m. You would have signed in, received IDs so you could be identified. From there, we would start coding at 12 p.m. into Sunday, 12 p.m. So basically, we were meditating on Harvard's campus during that time, as well as coding. It was a very extravagant yet tedious process, but at the end, we came out victorious.
What are your expectations to our executives, so to speak, of this competition and its impact on students from the University of the Bahamas from here and going forward?
That's a great motivator for the large population body now in finance and in IT, ideally the IT part, and that would again I can't express any more happiness than I am that will keep the drive going. We try to keep it the best, and we will keep it on the top edge of the technology and improvement, and always on the top.
And to you, Mr. Thompson, I want to ask about the collaboration between UB and the Central Bank of the Bahamas in putting this together. I'm sure it was a very costly initiative. Why was that relationship so important?
Well, relationship with our stakeholders, those relationships are very critical because employability and the transfer of skills that we teach at the academy, at the university, must be easily transferable to industry. And so when we link and collaborate with an institution, a premier institution such as the central bank, you know, it is critical because ultimately many of our students end up in the employment of institutions like the central bank, like the National Insurance Board. So that collaboration is very critical because in addition to training and teaching, our students must be employable. And I think a critical thing about this experience is that not only have we demonstrated in the past our ability for national respect, national recognition, but this now takes it internationally. So I anticipate that many of our students will be getting calls, especially from our computer information system program and our economics and finance program. We're gonna potentially have a lot of requests for our students because of the skill set demonstrated in this initiative.
And finally, students, what did you find most, in a word, what did you find most rewarding about this experience?
The networking, like I mentioned earlier, and it was great to meet the lovely people.
The adaptability, we were definitely put in different circumstances and we were able to thrive in each one of them.
I would say the perseverance. Despite what happened, we had to pivot a lot from some of the ideas that we had. And so despite all of that, we had to persevere. And like Makari mentioned, we had to be able to adapt so that we could come out on top.
I definitely would say the community. Even though it was a competition, we all fought together as one.
I love it. This seems like...
Can I add something? It's worth noting that it was a very short notice from the central bank. Very, very short notice for us to select the students, for them to be ready and be on the road.
Wow. Again,
it was worth it.
Adaptability.
It was worth it.
Being able to pivot, those are the recipes or parts of your recipe for success. So I just want to say congratulations to you on this incredible milestone, and we expect many teams in the years to come.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you. And thank you for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Here are 3 young people who stopped attending high school and got disengaged in their educational journey due to the pandemic. Today, they are proudly taking their walk all over the place because they took advantage of BTVI's Smart Start initiative. All high school students in New Providence and the Family Islands can participate in free hands-on learning to improve employability. Learn basic literacy and numeracy skills and earn a BTVI certificate in automotive mechanics, beauty and construction trades, or fashion in only 14 weeks for full-time participants or 24 weeks for part-time. Don't count yourself out. Do what they did and enroll today. Email smartstart@btvi.edu.bs or call 502-6300 so you can take your walk anywhere in life.
Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're up dead early on another fantastic Friday, and we're at the mid-show, and you stuck with us. Look at that. I'm Mark Daniels.
And I'm Gabrielle Gardner, hoping that you're still having a happy Friday.
Yeah, it is a happy Friday. The weekend is there. You can smell it on the breeze, and I think Godfrey said we got a little cold front rolling through.
Oh, really?
Sounds like bad weather.
Oh, no, I'm supposed to work on Saturday.
We'll see. We'll see if Godfrey could have a little bit of sun come out. But I've been enjoying these little breaks, these little cold fronts that are coming through, the little bit of rain. It's still spring season, everybody. The weather's starting to get warm overall. Make sure you're planting in your garden. You got your seeds going, your backyard farm, because you got to grow our food. But anyway, we got more coming up in our second half. I can't run on too long because they're throwing stuff at me from the back. We'll be talking with Team Bahamas about their second place win for a 5th year at Carifta, and URCA is here to discuss the role in regulating the electronics communication sector.
And we'll also be discussing autism with speech-language pathologist Shanique Hudson. But before all that, we'll take a second look at weather with Godfrey Burnside.
This is Weather at Sunrise.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Good morning, Bahamas. And yes, second look at weather at sunrise. We do have a cool front present of Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini. It's moving towards the southeast. Should move into the province area late morning, early afternoon. A couple of showers accompanying that, Gabriel, so don't be mind about the weather over the weekends. You have great weekends off for you weather-wise as you go to work. In the marine forecast today, those winds will start off southwest to west at 15-20 knots, seas 47 feet. Be ahead of the front. After the front passes, those winds become northwest to north at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet. Northwest Bahamas and south to southwest at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet, or the central and southeastern islands. On Saturday, across all the islands, those winds become northeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet. In northwest Bahamas, 15 to 20 knots, seas 47 feet, or the central and southeastern islands. On Sunday, those winds northeast to east at 15 knots, sea 3 to 5 feet. In northwest Bahamas, continuing 15-20 knots, seas 47 feet, or the central and southeastern islands. Your tides. You can expect a high tide at 11:23 this morning. Your next low tide will be at 5:29 this evening. High gain tonight at 11:53. Sunset 7:29 this evening. Rising more at 6:49. UV index 7. Your water temperature 76 degrees Fahrenheit. And your moon phase now moving towards the first quarter. Your external look, cold front moves through, high pressure builds, so therefore looking at dry, stable, and some breezy conditions starting on Sunday across the islands. So lots of sunshine on the weekend. Some warm temperatures. Temperature daytime will be in the low 80s, at nighttime in the upper 60s. That pressure up on your final look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Godfrey. The Bahamas finished second at the Carifta Games for the 5th straight year, and we're here to celebrate them and congratulate them all. Here to tell us all about their experiences at Carifta, we have Coach Alexis Roberts, we have Coach Kenny Moxey Sr., we have Anaiah Rolle, we have Jakaya Rolle, we got Kenny Moxey Jr., we have Alexis Roberts, and we have Kaiden Cartwright. And thank you all for being here this morning. Appreciate y'all. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you.
So everyone's in here sporting their hardware. I like this. I like this look with the. I see the Bahamian colors, then I see some medals dangling. Congratulations to you all. How does it feel to represent Team Bahamas at the 51st Carifta Games?
Hi, my name is Jakaya Rolle. It feels very great. This is my first Carifta, and I'm proud to represent my country.
What were some of the highlights for you in your? And tell us about your race.
Well, I did long jump, and I did pretty good as I PR at my season best.
Awesome. For those who don't know, PR is personal record, right?
Yes, sir.
See, there you go. Tell us about your experience at the 51st Carifta Games and your event.
My experience was great. Although it was my second national team, I'm happy with the outcome, and I'm thankful that I got the opportunity to represent Team Bahamas.
And what was your event?
Pole vault.
Oh, wow. I don't even know how I would even do that. That's amazing. And you, what is your medal? You got first place?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. And what category are you in?
Under 20
there you
females
go.
pole
Man, that's
vault.
awesome. That's boss mode. You fly in through the air like Superwoman. Tell us about your Carifta Games and your event.
It was a wonderful experience. I was grateful to be able to experience different cultures, meet new people, and compete on an international level.
And tell us the event you got silver in.
I got silver in the 4x4. I ran second leg.
Awesome. And tell us a little bit about your teammates that are on here. Shout them out. Let us know who ran with you.
I'm proud of everybody. Everybody did great. The energy was high at the meet, and we all came to do our best.
The teamwork makes the dream work. Brother Kaiden, tell us about your Carifta Games and the event or events you participated in.
I threw the javelin for the under 20 boys. It was a good experience, especially being in a different country this year compared to last year. Coming into the competition, I was a little nervous because last year I won the gold, but I had to come back and try to beat it again. So this year I just tried to stay focused and let God do his work.
Yeah, man. Javelin, boy. You can't run from you. You'll hit somebody from 100 yards out. Talk to us, Kenny. You were here the last time. You had your events. Tell us about your Carifta Games experience and the octathlon. There you go. Tell us about it.
Honestly, it's amazing. This is my third Carifta, but my first medal. And so I'm very proud of myself and what I've accomplished. The experience was great. I enjoyed Grenada. I enjoyed meeting new people and spending time with my teammates.
That's awesome. How did it feel after finishing your octathlon, to stand on the podium to get your medal? What does that feel like?
Honestly, it was amazing. I mean, I worked very hard all season for it, and I went there, showed up, and proved to everybody what I was capable of.
And once again, it's a very amazing feat that you can do that, representing the Bahamas, all of you. Coaches, y'all must be very proud, man. This is the second place finish for five times his Carifta. So Kenny Sr., and we ain't gonna bust your five, but somebody here is your offspring, so it sounds like they got the talent from you. But tell us, how do you feel about the team and this 51st Carifta Games?
Well, I feel the team did an excellent job given the resources that we had. We went out there, especially in the field events, and we represented the country very well. I'm proud of each and every one of these athletes. The coaching staff did an awesome job, and I'm just proud to be a part of that team.
Definitely a part of it, and once again, you know, it in the blood. You as well, senior man, you have your children here as a part of the team. So tell us, how was the 51st Carifta Games for you, and what do you look forward, what stood out, about this competition?
So like Kenny said, and I think the athletes here are just kind of being humble. If you look around their necks, they all sporting their medals. We have a record holder in the pole vault, so you know they're being humble. They're not saying exactly what they did. You know, you got 2 goals around the neck.
Yeah.
Alexis, in the course of 3 days, would have ran 5 events.
Wow.
200, the 400, the 4x4. So these athletes came out prepared, and they worked hard. Now this Carifta was special for me, even as a coach, because my last year Carifta, I mean, I was an athlete. I let myself go so it doesn't show. But my last Carifta was Grenada, and to have my daughter on the team, this time in Grenada, to bring back a medal as well, that was special to me. And I also met my wife, her mom, at that same Grenada game. So this one was special for me. The energy was high. It was good being back in Grenada to get that feeling back.
Yeah, man, this dad coach energy, I'm digging that. I'm going to have to start coaching one of my children's team, right? Pass on something to them. What's next for Team Bahamas?
Team Bahamas, we're looking to go to World Under 20 in August. The trials for that is June 20th to the 22nd, so these kids are definitely looking forward to that. At the Carifta trials, we had 68 outright qualifiers. So I don't expect nothing less when they compete in June at the senior and junior nationals.
Excellent. And Coach Kenny, anything you want to say to your athletes, those who are here, and those who may not be here, the support staff, the parents, who all made this possible?
Well, the parents did make it possible. It was rough for many. I'm just hoping that as we go on to the other Carifta Games, that we're able to assist the parents more in being able to go over and actually view their kids. At least one parent should be on that plane supporting their kids. If we talk about the athletes here, if you don't know, Anaiah is one of my athletes actually in the pole vault. I'm the pole vault coach. My son here, he's an octathlon decathlete, multi-person. And it's been a long and tedious couple of years. Anaiah just came to me last year, and she was able to qualify for 2 teams, well, 1 team within 2 to 3 months. And here we have KJ, who was just turned 70, and he actually won the gold medal in the multis. I think that's unheard of.
It is
They're
definitely
both making history.
Right? A lot of history being made as we continue. Team Bahamas, I mean, whether we on the track, or we in the pool, or we on the court, or we in the baseball field, we are making strides across this planet. And I appreciate you, the dad coaches, those who aren't here, everybody who works behind the scenes, all of y'all for your hard work. People didn't see the sweat, the blood, the dedication, the sacrifices. So we appreciate all of you putting Bahamas on the map, keeping us on the map, continue to grow from string to string, and we can look out for great things from Team Bahamas this year, all right?
Thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all this morning. We're having a big race in the parking lot, everybody. Me versus him, the tall one. Appreciate y'all. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Ria Christina, and I'm super excited to be the new host of You and Your Money, a local international bank that has actually been closing some of their branches. It actually gives me an opportunity to share my views, my take on the financial matters. Even when we think about what's happening globally, we still have a lot of work to do in terms of having to educate business owners as to the importance, the economic impact, and how it is that we can look at improving the Bahamian economy. $1 billion. That's how much we spend every year importing food in this country. It also gives me an opportunity to have conversations, and that's meaningful conversations with thought leaders within our community, even having to see how it is that we can work together, or even the opportunities that may exist for many Bahamians. So I'm excited to be here and looking forward to the great conversations that's to come.
African Things is your one-stop shop for everything African. Make a bold fashion statement with vibrant colors and intricate patterns inspired by the beauty of Africa. Find trendy contemporary looks for every occasion and enjoy custom tailoring. Shop jewelry, purses, art, cosmetics, and much more. African Things is located in the Dugard Plaza, Palmdale, next to McDonald's. Open Tuesday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come get your African Things.
Secure your spot at the new Eleuthera and Harbor Island Business Outlet, April 18th at the Eleuthera Business Hub in Rock Sound, with keynote speaker, the Honorable Clay Sweeting. And April 19th at Valentine's Resort and Marina, Harbor Island, with MP Sylvanus Petty giving the update on North Eleuthera and Harbor Island, and Deputy Prime Minister I. Chester Cooper delivering the keynote address. Visit tclevents.com today for registration options.
Welcome back. Speech-language pathology focuses on diagnosing and treating communication disorders, including those often associated with autism, to help individuals improve their speech, language, and social communication skills. Here to discuss this further with us is Kay Shanique Hudson, speech-language pathologist at Doctors Hospital Rehab. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good.
So what are some common communication challenges that children, particularly children with autism, face?
So we often see children with autism have a lot of difficulty with social communication skills. So that's things like connecting with other people, having a conversation. They have difficulty with eye contact. They have difficulty responding to their name, understanding others' emotions. So if I'm talking to you and you look sad or unhappy, they have no way to register that that's an unpleasant emotion for you, to connect on that emotional level with you. We also see them have difficulties with expressive language, so being able to use the words that they have or even understand the words that you're speaking to them.
How does autism impact language development?
Okay, so a lot of times we see that kids with autism start to develop language and then somehow it just regresses. Mm-hmm. We also have two ends of the spectrum, and the one that we mostly see or mostly focus on is children having difficulty with the language, not developing, it's delayed, that's receptive and expressive language. But then there's the other end of the spectrum where we see kids develop language at a very high rate. Their vocabulary is significantly increased, they're reading at a high level, and that's the one that we don't really focus on or really talk about, but that's there too.
Wow. Can you share some of the strategies that you deploy or the persons can deploy in terms of communication with children who have autism?
Yes, so often we focus for those that are minimally verbal or nonverbal, we focus on using augmentative or alternative communication methods. So that's using sign language, or gestures to help them communicate functionally. We can also use devices that they can communicate with, and those generate speech for them. So they click a couple of buttons and it generates a sentence or a phrase for them to request, things like that. We often pair the sign language, simple baby signs like more or please, with the verbal communication. So that sometimes helps them develop the language faster.
What role does early intervention play in supporting speech and language development with children who have autism?
So early intervention is huge. It is so important. The earlier you catch it, the better. The earlier you catch it, the more resources that we can employ to help the child develop language at a higher rate. And so we really, really, really encourage parents, get the child tested, get the resources that they need.
What are some signs that parents can look for if they suspect their children may have communication difficulties related to autism?
So, as I mentioned before, children that have autism often develop the language and then they regress. So that's one of the most common red flags that we see with children with autism. We also tell parents to look for stimming behavior, so flapping the hands, vocal stimming, so making sounds over and over again. Also restrictive interests in things. So some kids are like just super interested in science and space. They'll know everything about that, but then just general information or holding a conversation they have difficulties with. So all of those things they have difficulty with. And then of course just general language delay, receptively understanding what people are saying to them and expressively. And then the social language again, so no interest in other people, you're talking to them, or even children like no play skills. They're not interested in playing with other kids. They would rather stay to themselves and play with the one toy over and over again.
So you mentioned the importance of early intervention and, you know, just the impact that it can have on their outlook. And I'm sure people may be wondering how they can get in contact with you to make that early intervention.
Okay, so of course I am at Doctor's Hospital. I work at the Cable Beach Rehab location. So you can call at 302-3340. We also have a location on Collins Avenue, and you can call there at 302-4636.
And leave us with a word of encouragement for parents who may suspect that their children or even infants, toddlers have autism. What's the potential for a positive outlook if they do engage in that early intervention?
So I always say, don't be afraid to get the resources you need. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. If you are suspecting it, it's best to just go ahead and get the assessment done, the developmental assessment, whether that be with a school psychologist or your pediatrician. Ask your pediatrician what's going on. It's better to know than to be in the dark for so long and then they don't develop at the rate that they're supposed to, and then we're having to try to catch up on all those things at the back end. So please don't be afraid, don't be discouraged. Just get your child the resources and the help that they need.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for educating us on this very important topic and being with us this morning.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
One thing, two things, blue thing, old things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Welcome back. With us now is Rupert Pinder. He is the Director of Electronic Communications with the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority, and he is here to discuss with us the electronic communications sector. Good morning, Mr. Pinder, and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
And we appreciate you being here this morning, looking sharp in your blue suit. I got to wear mine next time we're on. So let's just talk about URCA. Can you begin by explaining to us URCA's primary role in regulating the electronics communications sector?
Okay, well, first of all, I mean, URCA generally is there in terms of really facilitating the economic and social progress of the country.
Right.
And so, of course, you know, we regulate both on the electronic communication side as well as the electricity/energy, the energy sectors.
Right. And so by definition, what are we calling the electronics communications sector? What does that comprise?
Well, the electronic communications sector, so our principal licensees, so for example, on the communication side, in terms of our major licensees, we have BTC, Bahamas Telecommunications Company, we have Elle, we have Cable Bahamas, that's on the communication side. We also have so those are the major providers. And then of course, you know, we now have a new competitor in the market for the provision of broadband services, and that is in terms of Starlink.
Right.
And then of course we also regulate the broadcasters.
Right.
And we also have responsibility for the management of spectrum, which is considered to be a national asset.
You see, there's a lot that persons don't really know about, you know, how much that URCA regulates, how much it is that is under your purview. But you've had a busy year in 2023. You completed significant projects such as the review of the consumer protection regulations, and you did a public consultation on 5G. So how do these accomplishments affect both consumers, producers, and the Bahamas as we move forward?
Well, I mean, that's certainly an excellent question. And I think, just to break it down for our audience, I think one of the things to recognize is that regulation is what they consider to be a surrogate for competition. And one of the things here is that we live in a very small market.
Right.
And to the extent to which we have a relatively small market, we don't have some of the competitive dynamics that you would see in larger countries. And so hence there's a need for regulation to protect the interests of consumers in terms of the purpose of regulation. But if you were to think in terms of, let's say, the role of a regulator, a role of a regulator is, let's say, equivalent of that of, let's say, a referee.
Right.
Right? So, for example, you know, if you're a basketball fan, you know, the referee is there, and so well-managed, well-run game, the game is not about the referee, but nevertheless, he's there to ensure that the game progresses and playing his role in terms of that of a facilitator. The same thing applies in terms of that of URCA as a regulator.
So going forward with 2024, let's say into the next few years, what are some of URCA's strategic objectives as we move forward?
Well, one of the things you said, and I think you would see a lot of it coming out by way of some of our projects that you alluded to earlier. So in 2023, so one of the things to bear in mind is that in terms of a regulator, it's also a balanced beam.
Right.
Because while you're there to protect the interests of consumers, you're also there to ensure that the licensees, in some cases, have the environment that allow them to be able to effectively compete. Right. So it's a balancing act between the consumers and also in terms of the providers of these services. Right. So in 2023, you know, one of the projects that we would have had was term in terms of the communications fee reduction. And so what was, so by way of, so we published in terms of the guidance notes for that, and that came out in terms of a government order. And the purpose there was really to incentivize the licensees in terms of making an investment, particularly investment in areas in terms of the unserved areas, and also in terms of providing new services, let's say, in some of the more mature markets in terms of New Providence and Grand Bahama.
Right.
So that was a project that was, you know, that was there in terms of facilitating investment in some areas by way of the licensees. You would have alluded in terms of the 5G.
Yes.
And again, I mean, that's, we completed that in 2023 in terms of the first phase, assessing the overall demand in terms of whether there was use cases for 5G, and we continue with that project in 2024, and the whole idea is to establish a framework.
Right.
Should the licensee decide to have make a commercial decision in terms of deployment of 5G. On the consumer side, we would have done a lot by way of the consumer protection regulation.
Right.
And so we would have tightened the rules. We would have done a lot in terms of protection for consumers there. We So in addition to the consumer protection regulation, we have also been addressing a lot of the issues on the quality of service.
Right.
And so one of the consultation that we've just completed in the first quarter of this year would have been in terms of the outage reporting framework.
Okay.
And the purpose there is to ensure that the licensees that we are informed, and also they have to outline to us in terms of any sort of mitigation plans, etc., with respect to outages. And again, it's to improve the consumer welfare.
So how do consumers stay up to date with new information, stay up to date with what URCA has planned? Any further public consultations or rollouts? How do consumers stay in touch?
Well, a lot is available by way of our website, www.urcabahamas.bs, and our Corporate and Consumer Relations Department, headed by Mr. Makari. Must put in that plug for him. has been doing a lot by way of consumer education. And one of the things that we're also doing as well is revamping the website. Right. And the whole idea is to make the information more accessible. Yes. And then, of course, the other thing I want to mention as well is we're also addressing by way of our complaints handling process as well. Right. And again, that is to ensure that the consumers have access. And one cannot overemphasize in terms of the importance of that consumer education.
And it's important to have a good referee in the game to make sure that everybody's playing fairly, following the rules. And like you said, when the referee's doing his job, we don't even see the referee, we just watching the team. So we appreciate you and URCA and everybody who works behind the scenes to help protect consumer rights, and also the licensees and those who are investing in our country. And we appreciate you coming on the show this morning, Mr. Pinder. We look forward to seeing you again and all the great things that URCA has planned for 2024.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. You're watching Mamas.
Focall Holdings Limited is proud of its consistent growth and the financial success it continues to bring to many Bahamians who invest in the company. Focall is committed to ensuring optimal financial performance for its shareholders. Focall's leadership remains focused on superior customer service and operational excellence across all sectors. Focall, fueling growth for people. Secure your spot at the new Eleuthera and Harbor Island Business Outlet, April 18th at the Eleuthera Business Hub in Rock Sound, with keynote speaker, the Honorable Clay Sweeting. And April 19th at Valentine's Resort and Marina, Harbor Island, with MP Sylvanus Petty giving the update on North Eleuthera and Harbor Island, and Deputy Prime Minister I. Chester Cooper delivering the keynote address. Visit tclevents.com today for registration options.
Been a full and fabulous Friday here on Bahamas at Sunrise. We've had just so many conversations about so many of the exciting things that are happening in the country, and particularly with our young people, just really giving us a positive outlook. I think this is a perfect way to start the weekend.
Yeah, I'm feeling inspired by all of our guests on the show today, especially Team Bahamas, those Carifta athletes, you know, and the dad coaches. Once again, I keep shouting them out. All the parents who support their children and all that they do. Hobbies, schoolwork, downtime, fun time, all of that. You know, it's very important to be in your children's lives. We appreciate you being with us today. Don't forget to register for the Eleuthera and Harbor Island Business Outlook happening next week. Remember, book your ticket to go down to Rock Sound, and you can drive up to Bryland, get in the conversation, lots of networking opportunities, find out what's happening on the Eleuthera and Harbor Island, get in, and you don't want to miss out. You can register at tclevents.com.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Enjoy your weekend. What are we doing? You going to the beach? It might be cool. Take your blanket. See you Monday.